Good evening and welcome to the Carnegie Town Hall. This meeting of the Sioux Falls City Council will begin in a few moments. The City Council meets on the first, second, and third Tuesday of each month at 7 o'clock p.m. and serves as the city's policymaking and legislative body. Each meeting is governed by Robert's Rules of Order unless those guidelines conflict with city ordinance or charter. City Council meetings offer an opportunity for citizens to speak directly to their elected representatives. Those in attendance are invited to address the Council during the public input segment at the beginning of the agenda. At that time, any issue that is not subject to formal action later in the agenda can be addressed. Testimony that concerns a resolution or an ordinance's second reading is only allowed when those specific agenda items are being addressed by the Council. When addressing the Council, citizens should speak directly into the microphones at the podium and state their names for the record after being recognized by the Chair. To accommodate and respect all viewpoints, citizen comments are limited by ordinance to no more than 5 minutes each. Comments should be respectful and focused on providing new information that will benefit the Council's deliberative process. The Chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers. City Council meetings are broadcast live on CityLink and online at www.siouxfalls.org. Information regarding the City Council, its committees, meetings, briefings, and members is available by visiting www.siouxfalls.org/council or by calling the Council office at 605-367-8085. Thank you for your interest in Sioux Falls City Government.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. We certainly are pleased by the number of folks that are here. I hope you enjoy this meeting. It is Tuesday, May 5th, and we'll start by introducing you to your City Council.
Council members Karski.
Here.
Kiley.
Here.
Rolfing.
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Erpenbach. Here. Jameson.
Here.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate that. We will lead our meeting tonight with an invocation, and we're very blessed to have Care Pastor Brian Reynoldson of Celebrate Church here in Sioux Falls. Care Pastor Brian will lead us in that invocation. And if you could stand for that, we'd appreciate it, and then remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Care Pastor Brian, welcome.
Thank you very much. Heavenly Father, we just come before you tonight to ask that those who need to be heard, Father, may they speak with clarity. And Father, that those who hear, may they hear with great wisdom. Father, thank you for their desire to serve, for their willingness to be servants. Father, I just pray in your name that you will help them be carers of people. Father, I just thank you for your love, the way you created us. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray it. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm going to hand over the mic first, or do you want me to? Do you want to read this, or do you want me to read this? I'll read it. Very good. Would you mind introducing yourself first, please?
I'm Tamara Jorgensen. I'm an assistant city clerk.
Very good. Tamara, thanks so much for being here. The first proclamation reads, whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. Whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas a municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. So, therefore, I, Mike Huther, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through May 9th as Municipal Clerks Week in Sioux Falls and extend appreciation to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. I know the council want to lead us in this applause, and certainly as the mayor and the executive branch too, thank you for all you do, as well as the municipal clerk team. Council, let's give them a round of applause. Council, thank you so much, Council. Mary, would you mind coming forward too, please? We've got some other folks here. Come on up. And Mary, I'm not going to have you introduce everybody, but could you just maybe just give a quick glimpse on who are these folks, and then I'm going to read the proclamation in their honor. Here you go.
Thank you. Well, these fine folks represent bicyclists in our community, whether they are recreational riders, bike commuters, long-distance riders. But in our community, we have people who bike for enjoyment, bike to get to work or school. But then we also have individuals in our community who rely on bicycles as their only means of transportation. And it's important to have a community where they can do that safely and where all users of the road are watching out for each other and being responsible out on the roads. So as Bike Month, these folks are out there promoting all the wonderful things that bicycling brings to our community.
Good job, Mary. And with that, come on, bicyclists, come on over. Don't be so shy. Come on. Come on over. Well, on behalf of the 170,000 people who live here, but the hundreds and hundreds of thousands more who visit our town, and many of them on bikes, I do have the following proclamation. Whereas, the bicycle is an economical, healthy, convenient, and environmentally sound form of transportation, and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of our city's scenic beauty. Whereas, throughout the month of May, residents of Sioux Falls and our visitors will experience the joys of bicycling through education programs, commuting events, or by simply getting out and going for a ride. Whereas the Sioux Falls bike system, it attracts bicyclists each year, providing economic, health, transportation, and certainly tourism benefits. Whereas creating a bicycle-friendly community has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, attracting tourism dollars, improving traffic safety, supporting student learning outcomes, and reducing pollution, congestion, and wear and tear on our streets and our roads. Whereas Falls area bicyclists, Live Well Sioux Falls, the League of American Bicyclists, and other businesses and community groups will be promoting bicycling throughout the month of May. Whereas these groups are also promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and yes, fatalities, and improve health and safety for everyone on the road. Now, therefore, I, Mike Huther, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim May 2015 as Bike Month in Sioux Falls and urge all residents to join me in this special observance and take an opportunity and get out and ride. Congratulations. Well, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. We'll now move to our consent agenda. Council, any motions, changes, anything like that?
Approve Anderson.
Second, Karski.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Karski. Any motions? Very good. Roll call vote, please.
Council members Karski.
Yes.
Kiley.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson. Erickson. Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Now our regular agenda. Council, any motions on that?
Move to approve Erpenbach.
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Erpenbach's made a motion to approve our agenda tonight, seconded by Councilor Kiley. If there's no changes, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Karski.
Yes.
Kiley.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
That has also passed 8-0. Again, welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. Thanks for being here tonight. This is an opportunity for you to engage the City Council on really any topic that you consider important. If it is a topic that comes up later on in the agenda, we'd ask you to hold off until then. But really any other topic, come on forward, and all we'd ask, two things. Tell us who you are, and then if you could just keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, the council would appreciate that. Welcome.
Good morning, or good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a long day. My name is Pam Nelson. My husband and I have owned our house on Marion Road for almost 40 years. Apparently, some listening may not know me, so let me introduce myself to our fellow citizens. Have entrusted me with several elected offices over the last 36 years. 9 years on the Sioux Falls School Board, 2 years in the South Dakota State House, followed by 8 years in the South Dakota State Senate, followed by the next 6 years on the South Dakota Public Utilities Commission, and then I was asked to run for county treasurer, where I've been for the last 11 years. The reason I bring these elective office histories up is to ask anyone here in the Sioux Falls City government if I've been hard to find. I seem to be easy to find. Most people can, at least when they want to. You can ask anyone about that. In the past, on this past Sunday, my husband and I decided to do our spring yard cleanup at our house on Marion Road. As part of that cleanup, we found this blue baggie. Does it look familiar to you? Hanging on our front door. When we got it and opened it up and took it out, I found a letter from the city addressed to me saying that we had two nuisances that we needed to address. One of them happened to be a storm window that's about the size of the little front thing there. It's a window to our basement, which is inside our garage, and it was cracked, and since we'll be selling that house, we decided that we should probably fix that window. So we took it out. My husband took it to Robson Hardware, where he usually used to get those things fixed, and they said they no longer fix those windows, so that wasn't an option. So then we took it to Ace Hardware. They also said they don't do that anymore, so that wasn't an option. So he took it out of the car and was going to put it in the garage, but instead he set it alongside the front of the garage. And then apparently, in the meantime, the city had sent us a letter too, and I guess I knew this, that they were having a neighborhood cleanup in our neighborhood. So some person from the Department of Health, some guy named Shuttleoff or somebody, sent me a letter saying that he'd been out there and there were two problems. One of the problems was the little window, and the other problem was the firewood that we had. And if you have the fire, am I covering it up? Pardon? Anyway, we had a stack of firewood sitting by the edge of on the edge of our driveway, which the mayor's probably seen when he was out there. But anyway, we got it from the wood actually came from the ice storm that we had. And so we cut it up, and it's in small pieces, and we burn it in our fire pit. Okay. And so anyway, those were the two nuisances. We were supposed to fix that window. It couldn't be laying there sitting by my garage, and it couldn't, and we had to do something about that firewood. We couldn't have it stacked there. And so I guess I find that a problem, in that my problem is not necessarily that you told me that I have a nuisance and I'm causing you a problem, but the way in which you notified me about the problem, I think, is a huge issue. And my purpose for coming here tonight is to ask you to change that policy. I think it is only fair that you mail me a letter or something rather than hang it on my door, which the wind can blow away and I may or may not get it. In this little letter that you sent me, it says I had 14 days to fix it. Well, when I opened the letter, it said the letter was dated on April 20th, and this is like May 2nd. So that doesn't give me a lot of time to fix an issue, problem if I really have one. And I don't agree that it's a nuisance because I think that firewood is not a problem, and I don't think it's in violation of any city ordinance. It's neatly stacked, it's cut in burnable size. And along with the letter that you sent me, it indicated what I had to do about stacking the firewood, which said it had to be in burnable size and stacked neatly. So I don't know, we have a picture. I think it's neat, but I guess that's subject to somebody's opinion. But I would like, and the reason I'm here tonight is to ask this council to change the way they notify people about these violations or nuisance ordinances as they did to me. I'm a taxpayer here. I worked hard for the citizens of Sioux Falls. They elected me for 36 years. I try to help people out, and I think every citizen in Sioux Falls deserves better than I got treated. I don't think it's an appropriate way to notify people, property owners, of nuisances that they would like you to fix. And I guess I don't really agree that the ones they asked me to fix were really a nuisance. And maybe I'm oversensitive about it because last year, the city came out, sent me the same kind of a little letter, and they said the nuisance was this year, I didn't have enough green area in front of my yard, so they asked me to rip up, I don't know, it seemed like it was about, I don't know, it wasn't very big. It was about this wide and about 15 feet long, so we'd have more green area. Now, you're talking to a person who lived on Marion Road since the road was 2 lanes, and the city... And in an effort to help people out and move traffic and stuff, made about a 6-lane street out there. And I mean, if I'm lacking green area, it's not because I did anything, it's because the city did something. And then, lo and behold, I fixed that problem and we rip up the cement. And then I get another notice later that says that, oh, now, gee, because Marion Road is wider, you had to put in higher street lights and brighter street lights because the road is now wider. So now my tree was in violation of the city code. It wasn't tall enough. So it seems to me like you're harassing me, but maybe it's not the case. But I don't think the way you serve me and let me know about these things is the appropriate way to do so. So I'm hoping by being here tonight that I can convince you that you need to send me a letter or something, certified, registered, whatever, or ordinary mail, because I seem to get it. And the other thing that I have over here, I have a picture of the wood, and I also have a picture of
Pam, thank you. I definitely understand your concern, and we will follow up on that. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to say one thing. This letter was addressed to me. It was delivered to me at work the other day, and it's addressed to Pam Nelson, my favorite treasurer, Minnehaha County.
Right.
Now, if they can find me with this letter, you guys can find a better way than hanging that on my doorknob. So I hope on behalf of all the citizens of the city, you will reconsider how you notify people.
Thank you, and thank you for your public service, too. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Would anybody else want to engage the council? Ms. Colby, did you want to engage the council? Welcome.
Robert Colby. You can respond to me. I'm going to ask a couple questions, and the address you can use is 1301 South Duluth Avenue, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Being a veteran of the ambulance wars over the past, 30 years, you have the right to address give a monopoly to an ambulance service, and I have no problem with that. That's all your right and privilege to do that. Now, when you've granted a monopoly, normally, as the state does when they give monopolistic services for gas and electricity, there's a public utilities service or office that regulates the charges that are given or asked for by that particular monopoly. My question is, who in the city regulates your ambulance charge monopoly? Who regulates the charges for fair and equitable cost? Maybe cost plus 10%, they're in business. So we had many times in the past, we had a regulatory service that was REMSA. That was to be a a sunset organization that was to give oversight for the ambulance service, and it was to make sure that it came up to speed and everything the oversight was proper, and I think you still have that, and that's probably, what, $250,000 operation now? Anyhow, I've often asked this question and never received the response, and that is, how can a for-profit organization do service for the community in life-saving, cheaper, and with less money than the city can do itself? I mean, how can a for-profit organization do service for the community for less than the city could for itself? If that is such a good deal for a for-profit organization to do life-saving events for each and every one of us, maybe we ought to investigate the same sort of thing for the police and fire. Farm that out because they can do it cheaper. I mean, it just doesn't seem to be equitable in my mind. How can the monopoly you give to the ambulance service do the service for less money than the city could itself, because they're in the business to make a profit? And the city is not in the business to make a profit, so therefore it would seem reasonable that the city could do it for less if they ran the service. 1301 South Duluth Avenue, that's where you can respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Colby. Appreciate that. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate those comments. Let's now move on to the regular agenda, and that would be, what, item 26?
Item 26 is a new 2015 package liquor license for GF Bowie Company, Bowie's Bargain Butcher, to be operated at 200 South Kiwanis Avenue, CUP not required. 27 is transfer of a 2015 retail liquor license, including Sunday sales and video lottery terminals, from Martinis Incorporated, Martinis Casino and Lounge, 4823 South Louise Avenue, to Dave Kulish, Martinis Casino and Lounge, 4823 South Louise Avenue, CUP not required. Item 28 is a special one-day liquor license for Hy-Vee Incorporated, all occasions by Hy-Vee, to be operated at the Point is to Serve Church, 506 North Kiwanis Avenue, for weddings on May 16th, June 20th, and July 11th, 2015. Item 29 is a special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Catering America Incorporated, Chef Dominic's Catering, to be operated at Orthopedic Institute, 810 East 23rd Street, for a South Dakota Chiropractor Social on May 8th, 2015. Item 30 is a special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation, to be operated at Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation, 200 North Sharapa Place, for a Science Fest Social on June 12th, 2015.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, good evening. Jamie Palmer with licensing. Item 26 is a request for a packaged liquor. They currently hold a packaged beer and they want to be able to sell wine, and this license would allow them to do that. Item 27 is a simple transfer of ownership. 28 through 30 are all special one days. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jamie. Council, any motions?
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Karski has made a motion to approve these items, seconded by Councilor Kiley. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Item 31, please.
Item 31 is a second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 3205 South 6 Mile Road from the AG Agricultural District to the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District, petition number 2054-2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Jason Bieber with Planning and Building Services. This is a request by the Slavic Church, and it is located west of South 6 Mile Road and north of East 41st Street. Roughly the size of the parcel is about 10 acres. And the purpose of this rezoning is for them to construct a Slavic church on the property.
Jason, thank you. Folks, this is a second reading. Did anybody want to engage the council on this topic? Councilors?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Rolfing. Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve item 31, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. If there is no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Councilmembers Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Item 32.
Item 32 is a second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 7901 East 57th Street from the AG Agriculture District to the O Office and C2 Commercial Neighborhood and Streetcar District, petition number 2275, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant here is Eric Wilson, and the owner is Norm Drake. It is located east of South 6 Mile Road and south of East 57th Street. The size of the parcel is roughly 12.2 acres, and the purpose is for a future commercial and office development.
Thanks, Jason. Did anybody want to engage the council on this topic? Councilors?
Move to
For
approve.
approval.
Thank you, Councilor Bach. Thank you, Councilor Anderson Jr. Appreciate that. A roll call vote, please.
Councilmembers Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Erickson. Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Item 33.
Item 33 is an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property north of East Madison Street and east and west of proposed Highway 100 from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban CN Conservation POUD Pedestrian Oriented Planned Unit Development RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban RA2 Apartment Residential Moderate Density LW Live Work and C2 Commercial Neighborhood and Streetcar District to the RS Single Family Residential, Suburban RD2 Townhome Residential, Suburban RA3 Apartment Residential, High Density LW Live Work O Office and C2 Commercial, Neighborhood and Streetcar District, petition number 2353, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant and owner of this specific application is Joel Dykstra. He represents Golden Gateway LLC. It is located north of East Madison Street and east and west of the proposed Highway 100. The size of this is roughly 192 acres, and the purpose is for future commercial, office, and residential development along the new Highway 100 alignment. And as you can see, the slide on the left-hand portion is showing the existing zoning districts out there, and they're relatively the same as the proposed ones. Really what they're doing is shifting them to match up with the new alignment of Highway 100.
Very good. Thank you, Jason. Did anybody want to speak to this item? Welcome.
Good evening. I hope you guys don't get tired of seeing us. My name is Carol McDaniel. I live on Paddington Trail in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Earlier this year, we talked about what was going on north of Paddington Trail area. Now we're talking about what's going on east of us. We have no problem with it, but as there's a couple of things that I'd like if you could that one up. Okay. We are east of this, west of this whole area. If you will see the two white arrows on the left side of the map going west, that goes nowhere. The next one down goes on to Paddington Trail again. Now, the bottom arrow is Madison. The one right above that is not anything either. What we need in our area is some sort of assurance from the council that these plans will include a entrance to this area for the building of this area that will be other than through our area. The star that you see up on Highway 100 and Rosemary, which Rosemary is not, will there definitely be a junction there? Will there be an access to 100 at that point? We don't know, and I realize that this particular juncture is not in this particular piece of property, but it is a vital part of the information. The drawings that they have that shows where the roads are supposedly, or that are planned to go from Madison to this area. Do you have that? Okay. Well, it is. those two areas, if you could, please. Yeah. Now, right there is Highline, although it's not there. That is on the, I think, on the proposal, and that's, those two, the second one is also another one on his proposal to be a access point to the development that is being asked about. Those two roads need to be guaranteed to be put in before anything else starts, because otherwise we're going to have our same problem that we have right now in our area, which lies to the west. Everything coming through our area, and we have one access, as you guys know. We've been at this point before. We need something, and I don't think it's out of line to ask the council people to look at these proposals as not just saying, okay, that looks good, but what about who's enforcing? Yes, that's what needs to be done in this order. That access road off of Madison up to that area needs to be input before anything else transpires, or we have no way to get, or they'll be using the roads that are already there and back in front of my house again, which wasn't supposed to be in the first place. So we're just asking the city council to look at those things and question those particular spots. And you say, well, there's Powder House Road. Powder House Road is the one that runs straight. See? You know that. Mm-hmm. That's Powder House Road right now is a gravel road. Okay, so it's really not, I mean, it can be a viable, but it's going to go away because when Highway 100 is built, and that section of Highway 100 is going to be built in this next year. We don't know to what, how thorough, but where does that leave? So my assumption is Highway 100 won't even be able to be utilized by this developer. So there we're stuck again. So we would just very much like the city council to really look at these plans and make sure that they are executed in a proper order. Thank you.
Carol, thank you very much. Jason, did you want to comment on any of the comments or concerns that were relayed by Carol?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that this is just particularly the rezoning. They will have to come back for a preliminary subdivision plan. The slide that she was referring to, that's just a concept plan for them, just an idea of what it could look like. I know they've probably worked with engineering a little bit on some of the accesses on Highway 100, but it's just a concept plan. They will come back with a preliminary subdivision plan, which is approved by Planning Commission and then comes in front of you guys. And a lot more of those accesses and other things will be worked out at that time.
And Jason, could you explain, folks can go to the Planning Commission meetings too?
Yep, that's a public hearing, and then they make a recommendation to be forwarded to the city council.
Thank you, Jace. Folks, is there anybody else who wanted to address this topic? Welcome, sir.
Todd Miller from Paddington Trail in Sioux Falls, addressing the same issue. And the issue primarily is that this neighborhood is relying upon a road that we've been waiting for 10 years, okay? And it's not there, and that's Highline Avenue. There is some working going on supposedly about getting an agreement about Highline Avenue, and our development, the development north, which is Canterbury North, is coming up on June 2nd, I believe, the last I heard, with hopefully a recommendation on how to get that done. My suggestion is, to me, we've got a skyscraper here that has the stairs in it, and we continue to build onto it without an elevator. Okay? You're not allowed to build a skyscraper without an elevator, and why should you build a neighborhood without an entrance? Okay? There's virtually no access to this neighborhood. There will be none from the north, there will be none from the east, and there will be, if the Highway 100 one gets rejected, which we've heard reports that it will get, that it has been rejected, and we've heard reports that it is going to be there. There will be no access from the east. Okay? So my suggestion is that we don't, I know this is supposedly just a revamping of it, said to be insignificant. It was going to be 50% residential, and now it's down to 25% residential and a whole bunch more apartments, which is a whole bunch more traffic. Mr. Dykstra said they're not planning on doing anything for a while, and that's fine. But we've seen what happens is this goes to engineering, and engineering makes suggestions. There's not the rules. It seems like that the good citizens of Sioux Falls have to, as Pam Nelson, we've got to follow the rules. But it seems that developers and in some cases the city, they can move those around. As an example, talk to Mike Cooper. I said, how can, he said, this is just a, just a realignment here, da-da-da-da. I said, well, the city council has told us that once something's rezoned, they don't get another look at it. He goes, well, yeah, they do. It's the development plan, the preliminary plan, and it's all done. I said, well, that never happened up in Canterbury North. He said, well, yeah, we did that in that development, but we're not going to ever do that again. So the rules seem to be real flexible when it comes to the city, but they don't seem to be flexible for us good citizens of Sioux Falls. So I don't think it makes any sense to allow approval for substantially increasing traffic, and granted it's hypothetical, but I could easily see them rejecting the second access to Madison Street, and we end up with one entrance for another 192 acres. Now, Joel Dykstra tells me that it's in the process of getting permitted. In a couple of months, he should know the answer. I think it'd be good to know the answer before we approve, again, substantially increasing traffic. And again, it's a skyscraper, with no elevator. Everybody's using the stairs. And now we're wanting to pile on more, okay? We've got you could call it a one-legged stool instead of a three-legged stool. So let's not, development's good, but let's develop with roads, with access points, before we go making it worse. So June 2nd, there's supposed to be something here. I don't know why we would want to increase a problem that still has no solution at this time. Okay? Thank you.
Todd, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Folks, did anybody else want to engage the council on this topic? Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. I'm Joel Dykstra, 404 East 77th Street in Sioux Falls. I started this kind of a long time ago. As many of you know, I've been involved in the discussions of Highway 100 and watching very intently as we've moved this project forward. We've already got zoning that already exists on this particular property is clearly designed around an alignment of South Dakota 100 that doesn't exist anymore. If you were to drive out there, you would see the flags in the field at the new Highway 100 route. The highway is coming and it's going forward, and so what we've done is applied for zoning for the purpose of aligning our zoning areas with the new Highway 100 route. And having done that, we really, I understand the Canterbury Heights folks are unhappy, and they have reason to be unhappy. There are resolutions, and there are certainly answers in the works, and you've had a very important role in that. But this property doesn't connect to Canterbury Heights. It's not, those east-west roads won't happen unless the Canterbury Heights roads get built. And going to the other map, just if I may, Jason, that intersection at Rosemary and Highway 100, there's no Rosemary there, but the state DOT is going to build the overpass. So it's in the plan for a four-way intersection. That is the access for Highway 100 and cross streets. So there will be access there. The whole project is designed to avoid just this kind of issue where we get the plans in place and everybody knows before houses come and before things start to happen what the long-term plan is. So the idea is to get the zoning done in advance of that residential development. It really doesn't have anything to do with Canterbury Heights. I think it'd be inappropriate to sort of hold this hostage because we happen to be a quarter of a mile away from another issue. And so I would ask for your support, and please, and then you can focus on the Canterbury Heights issue on June 2nd when that comes before you.
Thank you, Joel. If anybody else want to engage the council on this topic? Very good. Councilors, any comments? Motions? Yes, Councilor Anderson, or Councilor Jameson. My apologies, sir.
Fine. Jason Yes, very good. You got the rezone exhibit up there. The current existing zoning that's there, the shift is different. They've made a shift to, as Joel had mentioned, to realign themselves with the new alignment of Highway 100. So the existing options of them already constructing or doing something to connect to Canterbury Heights, and I know you've said it. I guess first let me be clear. The current existing one and the proposed zoning change is just a little different. They've already got it in place, I think, from what I can tell. But what I'm really missing, and maybe you said it, could you say it again, the steps for this particular development to go through again in order to start building, what would they need to do?
First, then they would have to go with a preliminary subdivision plan, and I had mentioned before that that's a public hearing with Planning Commission and City Council. And then you would...
That's 2 months process,
yeah,
probably.
Yep, 2 months, yep.
Okay.
And then they would start submitting for development engineering, where they would take a closer look at the engineering department, make sure everything's working right, water, road, sewer, drainage. And then once that's all through, then they could get the ability to start platting specific parcels. And then once those parcels are platted, they could start doing building permits and things like that. So it's quite a ways off before they get all those approvals.
And the item coming in June 2nd is, I mean, we've discussed this over and over here, is that connection that they're lacking, or I guess it's a fire exit, isn't it? The one that...
I believe that's the issue for Rosemary. I'm not exactly sure on that.
And that's coming up June 2nd that we're going to, what?
I believe that's the second reading for the rezoning of the Canterbury Heights North project from Ag to RS. That would be, I'll show you on the map here.
So if I remember right, the idea was that we weren't going to allow that zoning to go forward until they got that road put in. Is that what I'm remembering correctly? And
I believe they needed to work out a way to construct some more roads within that existing development.
Right, and I think the neighbors are rightfully concerned about adding additional development on, connecting them in and driving them all across their front yard or front of their houses just to... Okay, so I'm pretty comfortable that this development could not blossom anytime soon, and the June 2nd hearing should go forward, and that other road will be required before the other rezoning can take place. So I think there's a couple of safeguards, but I wanted to make sure we hear the concerns because it's real.
Councilor, thank you. Councilor Anderson, Jr.
I wish Mike Cooper was here because he could help clear some of these things up. Number one, the issue with Canterbury is a second access point. Rosemary has been approved by the fire department